Hey, welcome to the internet, guys. We've successfully downloaded ourselves.
Hi, internet.
Welcome to another show. Welcome to another episode of Simpson Software, your local technology and drinking show, where we drink and talk technology.
And we have the best advice ever.
I think we do. Business related, tech related.
Well, we bring real stuff. It's
perspective related.
Real perspective.
Chase?
You guys do most weeks.
We do most weeks. Tonight, special guest on the panel is the CEO of Cell Phone Repair in Billings, Montana here, soon to be Bozeman. See if I can point right. There we go. Kyle Strickland. Let's get a round of applause for Kyle Strickland.
Dude,
do we have the applause thing?
No.
Like the button where you push applause, Jason?
No,
Did it work? Okay, let us know. We're available on Twitch and YouTube live, and every week we are available on podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere else your podcasts are available. Cool. Even Apple Podcasts finds us. The podcast app, not. Yeah, see what I did there? Yes, yes. There's multiple different ways to find us. But we're out there. Please review us. In fact, I went to review us the other day, and it said not enough reviews to get a review. So apparently with the Apple podcast, you have to get enough reviews to be reviewable. So hopefully we can get on that.
How do you do that, though?
Well, that's a good question.
You have to get enough stars, and then once enough you can get like a 5-star review, and then you can actually leave a comment after there's a certain amount of star reviews.
It's the way you sounded. Like it sounded like, well, the chicken or the egg, the review or the reviews.
Right, that's the paradox I was sitting in as I was sitting there wondering why I couldn't review myself. Yeah. But then I was like, why should I be reviewing myself anyways?
Because you have
5
stars.
On the show tonight, we got a couple interesting segments. We got a lot of free stuff that I think is the segment for the show tonight.
Free stuff?
Yeah, free stuff.
I want free stuff.
It's the theme for tonight's show, I've figured out. So, first on tonight's show, we got the story about
Bud Light.
Bud Light, thank you for being our sponsor, by the way. Yeah. What was the...
Hashtag Pornhub.
The first... Chase, can you bring up our first story?
Which one, man?
Oh, okay, we don't have a...
I've got a story.
Yes, and I know this will work. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, okay, so the president, you know...
this is not the Xbox story.
Oh, no, let's talk about the Xbox story. We'll do the president story.
I bet we could segue the president in somehow.
We'll get to the president later.
So Xbox...
You start. Yeah.
Xbox is giving away, or starting a new program here. All about giving away more content for less, or I guess they would say one price.
Yeah. This is pretty cool stuff.
Tell me the details of Xbox All Access.
So Xbox All Access gives basically any gamer who can afford $30 a month their own console.
That's pretty steep.
Well, we're going to bring to the market what
if
Verizon
we give it away as a fringe benefit? One free Xbox All Access account.
How much is Xbox Live?
Xbox Live is $60 per year.
And this is $30 a month?
$30 a month.
Okay.
With this package, you get Xbox Live Gold. You get Xbox games with Gold. Then you get Xbox Game Pass, which is a service that allows you to download the massive library of Xbox games. Then on top of that...
Games Pass is separate?
Yes.
Is it a subscribable thing?
$15 a month.
So you
separate on its own.
Okay,
yes. So it's like the Netflix of Xbox games.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you get an Xbox One X console for no money down. You just pay the $30 a month for 2 years, and then you own the console.
How do you get their service contract?
Does the payments end?
After 2 years, you own the console.
You own the console,
and you're just a member of Xbox Live and Game Pass, which you can cancel separately after that.
So you wouldn't be paying $30 additional every month. So you'd pay $300, $600, $720 total over 2 years. That's actually not a bad deal.
No, it's not.
Get all those games. Because I was gonna say, like, I have EA access and I pay $5 a month. Because I'm
Does EA not play well though with the Xbox? I thought the season pass on EA was like a separate thing, and that's why people hated it.
It is, yeah.
So it's outside the Xbox. So you could get this, but you would also have to get for Madden.
I'd also have to pay $5 a month for EA access.
Yeah, and the
God,
Xbox
it's getting
games
hard to figure out.
It's complicated.
and that Xbox Game Pass is for the most part exclusive Xbox, like Microsoft Studio games too. It's not just like so EA
Forza
games wouldn't be on there.
Motorsport,
Yeah, come on.
Terrible games
Come
that
on.
nobody likes to play, even for free.
Yeah, I
They
don't
got
think.
Halo.
Yeah, I don't know why you would.
Yeah. I guess I'm a weird gamer.
If there's anybody out there who actually uses any of those, I guess those league passes, it seems like most gamers stick to their games. Who are these people playing game roulette out there? Is what I don't understand. There's no situation where I would. If I hit the lottery and had nothing to do, and we were like, what should we do? We'll spend a month being the best Halo players. I mean, we wouldn't get Xbox Live and like constantly rotating games. We'd be playing one game.
Yeah.
Like, who plays 12 games a
Do
year?
you rotate games? You
I'll-
wait for new games?
I play the big releases when they come out, but I'm a Blizzard game player, so like
Right.
I'm usually playing my World of Warcraft or my Overwatch, and then
Right.
the occasional new game, but I keep rotating back to those games.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way.
The only time I think it kind of appeals to maybe my generation where people would like to get like they would buy a game, wait for a game to come out, buy it, beat it, wait for it to come out, buy it, beat it, wait for it to come out. But all these games now are not one and dones. They're all extended access,
Like the Fortnite.
extended content, extended seasons.
EA is one of the really bad ones that nickel and diamond you too.
Why does
they get you in their ecosystem? I especially heard it bad about Battlefront.
Yeah, that was bad.
explain?
They, in order to get the best character in the game, you had to pay money. You could not get there otherwise.
Like, I mean, other games get criticized for having loot boxes where you spend money to get in-game content, but the way that EA did it differently, like normally it's just cosmetic stuff that doesn't impact your gameplay, but EA made it so you could pay money to literally be more powerful and be better at the game
Better
than
character.
other people. And
That's how those dumb phone games are.
I know.
So
And-
they literally copied the worst part about gaming with the freemium model.
They monetize.
Where
it.
South
but
Park
it's
made
not
fun
even
of
a
it.
free game. It would make even at least a little bit more sense if to play the game alone was free.
Right, you had to pay $60 first to get access to the game.
Right. So to be the
Jesus
best in the game,
Christ.
it was like $2,000. Like literally, someone did the math to be the best in the game. It cost
I was just gonna
$2,000.
ask. Okay, say I'm a single guy and I make I don't know, round number, 40,000 a year.
Yep.
How much should I spend on like?
Let's call it 50,000.
Okay, 50,000. I want a real. I want to. You've read a lot of budget books and this and that. I want a real serious thing. Like I know there's a certain amount you're supposed to spend on your mortgage or this or that. Like. Say you make 50,000 and you don't have a wife, you don't have a girlfriend, you're just playing video games. How much is like
Well,
$500 a month for
like-
entertainment?
it's a
If
hard-
all your entertainment was just entertainment,
it's like hard to answer because my opinion is not the normal, but it would be like enough to be able to save money still. But
could he spend $500 a month?
you could spend pretty easily. Like I could play Madden if I have too many Bud Lights. You can spend $90 on these 12,000 points, and you can only get points from spending real money within game.
That's what I'm saying. So
Like
it only allows
3 years ago. Like
So-
yeah, that was me. Yeah.
so only allows people
Best
who
team.
have money to be good at stuff.
You don't want to
It's-
know how much money I've
It's
spent.
not
on
fair
World of
because
Warcraft.
almost sometimes they should separate them out. I've spent a lot of money on gaming,
I don't-
Diablo items, stuff like that.
If you're
in the
doing
past,
it
or-
and it's your passion and you do it, like that's
But-
fine. I
but-
think it's stupider to spend money on a game you played for 10 minutes and then another game you played for 10 minutes, then another game for 10. People are always embarrassed. Like I got a buddy who's been playing Warcraft for longer than you have, and Chris
still
Jensen.
plays?
Yeah, oh yeah, he still plays.
But like a reference.
But that's
for
not
me-
embarrassing because he's been doing it. It's his favorite
That's
thing
what
to
he
do.
likes to do. Yeah.
I mean, for me, like I've played the game for 8 years. I've never canceled my subscription. So based off that, just from the subscription fee
'Cause
alone,
subscription makes
I've paid
wowzers.
$1,400 to World of Warcraft over the last 8 years.
1,400.
Just for the monthly
Just for the
subscription.
monthly
That
subscription.
doesn't
That's not
include,
including
buying
anything
items
else.
That's not including anything else.
or buying.
Years ago. It's,
And you're paying for developers to constantly update that game.
But it's also like if you just drop chewing Copenhagen or smoking cigarettes or smoking pot. I mean, I don't know.
Not smoking pot. I would never stop that.
What?
I don't know. It's money. It's just money.
Yeah, well, I guess my point is, how can you? I mean, at what point are they going to reach the limit on this? Like, Madden. I mean, you said you spent $90.
It's Microsoft's version of the subscription model, and that's coming. You guys have talked about that before. That's what I see it as.
Buy albums, why shouldn't you pay to play video games?
So is the world circular, or are things getting free, or does this tie in exactly? Amazon is starting a new service where their Fire
That's a weird
TV,
segue.
instead of subscriptions, no, we were talking about subscriptions. Instead of subscriptions, they're going back to a free TV model with ads. So anybody who has a Fire, instead of paying a monthly subscription fee, it's the exact opposite. You used to watch free TV with an antenna, and how you paid for it was by watching ads, or radio. How you pay for radio is by listening to ads.
Yeah.
Amazon is exploring that old model again. So the world's reversed itself.
Ingenious,
Because free TV has gone away.
Right? Do you know how many people are going to log on to this? If it's playing Seinfeld, American Dad, basically what TBS plays, something where you can turn on in any lobby where anybody's pretty happy with
I
it.
bet they could generate enough revenue to cover the cost of getting the programming, but covering the cost with ads.
Look how successful YouTube is. YouTube is
Holy
like
shit.
the most success. Like you consider
Yeah.
all the streaming services, YouTube is #1, and that's because
it's
they're
free.
advertising.
I watch the heck out of YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch more YouTube than TV.
Yeah. No, well, even if you want to, you can type in something like King of the Hill 24/7, and you can watch somebody's live stream of their show.
Yeah.
But I just think it's weird that we've gotten so confused about all these subscription models.
they suck, because now everybody
And
has-
somebody came
Right,
to a
'cause
board
everyone
meeting
has-
and was like, "I got an idea, Jeff Bezos." Pulled it out of 1962.
So what I want, I just wish there was one box that I could get and just
One
plug
box
into my
to rule them all.
TV, and I could just get
Box
every channel I ever wanted, and it's just every show that's currently on.
That's what those Cody boxes were supposed to
I
be.
think it's called like cable TV. I don't know. I wish I could get something.
I've seen
like that.
stuff, but seriously, those
where it didn't ever buffer, something where it never buffered, and it had, and you could save a bunch of things to it.
Every
and it was
solution-
a guide, and it had all the movie channels and sports and local TV.
yeah, every solution like that I found in the past couple of years works temporarily, but not forever.
No, no.
We just need a hybrid of the two, really. Like just the on-demand that like online brings, like Netflix. Of
Amazon's going to do it. They're going to give away. So their
less
model.
cost, not paying for $15 for every.
We
possible
tried to
channel.
call Jeff today, and he didn't answer.
You didn't answer. Did you call it?
We called one of
You
his
called us chick.
associates.
Yeah, but you called us chick line.
Chick line. We
That's
said
only the girls
hey,
get that line.
We said, hey, it ain't shipping in 2 days, bud. And this is making us mad.
You're a liar, Jeff Bezos.
Yes,
Your-
that's what Chase said. We
your-
got Chase on him
Your
today.
countdown is a liar. Hey, anybody out there, if you've experienced the Amazon 2-day shipping that's not 2-day shipping, please let us know. Because
Walmart's coming for you.
Walmart's coming for you. I recently updated the Walmart account and the work account and everything because you can buy stuff for like cheaper and better off Walmart. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just start using, because Walmart will have it ready to go in a bag for me over there.
And Walmart, so
You have to
Walmart's-
go get it.
Walmart's Prime, well, so Walmart's comparable
You have to
option-
pay for free TV.
Walmart's comparable option to Prime is free. You don't have to pay to buy from Walmart's website, and they have free 2-day shipping on everything.
And they can get it to that store for free, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, they ship it for free in 2 days, is what they say. And old Jeff at Amazon has not been shipping my things in 2 days.
What a liar. So do you think Mr. Amazon himself is doing something smart with this free TV model?
No, he's building rockets.
He's building rockets,
That's
but
Origin.
his other folks at Amazon
This is
are
a separate
doing
business
good job.
question. Is he using all his profits to funnel his losses in Blue Origin?
I think it's interesting because free TV went away a long time ago. You can still go buy digital antennas at Walmart and get like 4 or 5 channels.
Yeah, Chase, how many do we get here? We just did it. It was only 4.
You get the local news, which is the best. You get CW, and then the rest is kind of spotty.
You get like 3 PBS channels, which is interesting.
PBS, you get
Color 8 and Q2.
But we get hammered with ads on there anyway.
Yeah. Well,
so
if
this
you
would
go
be
to their
cool.
if you
This
go to
could
their
be
website,
cool.
like if you go to Color 8's website, you have to watch ads even if it's free. I mean,
Advertising's everywhere. You can't get away from it.
I know, and this I just
And
love that
if it turns more TV into free, I'm cool with that.
That's just so funny. Turn on your Amazon TV and change the channel in there. You get a little box, hook it up to the TV.
See, I have a Fire Stick, so I wonder if this would work. I already, my Fire Stick has a lot of stuff on it.
The new service for Fire TV is dubbed Free Drive. It is reportedly separate from Amazon's free subscription Prime service, which is ad-free, so I'm guessing it'll be its own app. And Amazon is reportedly working with studios to license older TV shows. Okay, so yeah. And Roku has a channel like this going on right now. I did forget to mention, basically they stole this idea from a competitor.
I'm all for competition, but Jesus, Hulu has so much overlap with Netflix, has so much overlap with
Well, I was
Amazon,
gonna say,
has so much overlap.
You think Hulu might follow the trend now and actually just have their full ad experience be free to compete with this?
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
Because they've got the tiered options. You can have full ads, limited ads, or no ads.
They even have live TV now.
That puts the pressure
so they
on
could
them,
just
though, for
stream
sure.
live TV and put those ads, because for $49 a month you can get Hulu Live TV, and that's the local channels, and then you're still getting ads anyways. Right. You're just getting that broadcast with those ads. It's not like it skips the ads.
You shouldn't be listening to TV, watching TV. You should be reading books and
Or
learning.
listening to books.
Listening to books.
This
And-
podcast
with
sponsored
pictures?
by Audible. Just
Right,
kidding, it's
yeah.
not really.
Well, it should
I wish
be.
it was.
If you're listening to
For how
books
many
with
books I
pictures that have that are moving, is that like the same thing? And
Like coloring?
and they're acting it out.
And then you push some keys and then they change.
No, I want to push one button and have the whole thing happen at once, like in an hour and a half long,
That's
and not be
that's my
about
kind of
books.
book.
You could try
Be about
it.
stories.
I'll tell you. Well, there's lots of stories. on there.
story, motherfucker.
There's lots of fun stories.
There are. Another fun story is that if you wrote something, if you're like me and you like to link all your Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff together, so if they're just going to post one thing, or you post on one aip, it'll
it goes
post on all of them.
everywhere. Yeah.
That I really like that until Patrick. Remember a little thing called Cambridge Analytica?
Yeah.
Do you remember about that?
Yeah, I do.
You remember berries that one?
I remember.
Well, due to the overblownness of the scandal, the advertising company was selling metrics for advertising data. Not that surprising. Anyways, Twitter or Facebook has subsequently scrubbed all APIs that are linked to it, which means that if you posted something with your Twitter account on Facebook, the event deleted from your timeline. So if you're one of those people like me and you posted the picture to Twitter, hoping that photo would save in Facebook, so that's where all your photos are saved, those were forcibly removed, those events. And some people don't realize that some APIs are browser-based. So if you had a browser-based API and you posted it on the internet or so, through your desktop, it might be gone too. So what they're suggesting is August 1st, they started scrubbing they're using the word forcibly scrubbing people's accounts from timeline events. So if you're missing anything, I don't know who you take it
Would
up
this
with.
matter for
Mark?
business pages? Because I know that I've only used that type of API or plugin or
Yeah, it's an
whatever
API, yeah.
to market on multiple platforms at once.
I know, like Buffer we used for work. I don't really know.
Do you know Producer? Did you read the story since you left at 4?
Shots fired.
Second of all,
We did 90% of our revenue after you left.
It's true.
feeling it.
I'm just kidding. I like to bust your balls.
That's why I'm not busting my back. You just can't tell.
My balls don't hurt.
The Twitter. Do we know anything else?
Well,
on the scrub?
can't you just go back to the Twitter and recover the stuff that you think
You
you
could,
lost
but it's
anyway?
hard to cross-reference things.
It's not like that content's gone forever. You'd still have it on your
Should be
Twitter.
on your
I
phone.
can tell you a bunch of fucking athletes would be real happy about this. These guys who keep.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to somebody the other
That
day
shit
when
even
so
comes up.
basically the idea, the interest to me on this story was that, and the reason The Verge wrote anything about it was that they're using this nomenclature. They're forcibly scrubbing people's accounts, which is something they've never done before. And people really didn't know, at least I didn't know, that feature was probably available, or that they were even going to use it, scrub things. So it makes me wonder, you know, we're talking about all this shadow banning and this and that. It's just another way to subvertly coerce your audience into
basically
certain things.
Have like Facebook has the potential to use an algorithm and find anything against certain political figure and just delete it off anybody's Facebook page. Right. That's exactly.
We
so they have the
knew
potential
they
to do.
had the ability to analyze the data based on certain search algorithms. What we didn't know is, or what I didn't know, is that they were forcibly removing content that they thought, or that they deem needed to be removed.
Well, that goes all back to the argument that we've talked about the last couple of weeks. I mean, like, who's really in control of these platforms? Like, is it a public service? Does the government regulate it?
Larry Kudlow, the president's economic advisor, said we might need to start talking about regulating Twitter and social media, to which I said, what?
Fucking out of your mind.
Well,
why do we need to regulate more shit?
We do not need to regulate the internet. We need to deregulate
this
it.
morning.
Take the good with the bad. I mean,
This kind of leads into the story I wanted to talk about. This morning, the president was talking about Donald Trump.
Yes.
Wanted to regulate Google because he was obviously angry Googling himself this morning and found that most of the stories about him are pretty negative right now. And, you know, he's accusing Google of intentionally painting him in a bad light.
You know what the metric for that was?
Shit.
Metric for that was that when he tweeted that, Fox News did a test, and one of the people on Fox News did a test, and I was watching some online feed. Anyways, that when you search for the word Trump, at that point, they hadn't updated it. No Fox News, no conservative media outlet showed up for the first 3 pages of search results.
3 pages?
Fox News did not show up. Breitbart did not show up. Politico, all those didn't show up.
Has Google been traditionally liberal?
To which, by the time I watched the 2 o'clock news, Dana Perino, she's that really short girl on the Fox News. Anyways, she re-talked about it, and she said, now I just checked it, and Fox News was a #2 trending story.
I would say that's just the algorithm updating based on how many people are searching for something at a time. And
I would say
where common traffic is at
I
a time.
think
so
common traffic.
You're saying 3 pages of fucking conservative things about.
What if it was the top trending thing? What was it, a 6-hour window?
I'm just saying what I think it is. I have no idea how it works.
I'm telling you what you're saying. You're saying 3 full pages of Google search. Every single one is is a liberal post. Before this was brought up, and then all of a sudden Fox ends up at #2.
So you think it's more likely that Google is intentionally working against the president?
I'm just handing out the evidence that's being presented to us.
He's a
I'm just making sure we all
conspiracy
understand
theorist.
it. No, I'm just seriously. I'm making sure we all understand the evidence because that's what's being said here.
Yeah.
So I mean, that being said, now look at that both ways. That doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah, but Google's algorithm is really complicated too.
No, stop it.
Isn't it?
Three complete pages with no conservative viewpoints whatsoever on something like Donald Trump.
That's kind of weird.
That is a terrible thing. The possibility.
So here's the argument that they got into on the 5 was basically this. They were saying, one person was saying, well, it shouldn't be, I don't want to regulate it, but it shouldn't be fair that they're all liberal on there. And one guy was like, well, the other guy made the argument that, well, if, say, the Huffington Post is getting the most organic...
My wrist is invisible.
Your hand is separated.
Oh, my wrist! Sorry, just noticed.
He was saying, but what if it happened organically? I mean, let's just say theoretically. What if the Huffington Post wrote some story and they had exclusive content in that story and it organically picked up that many things? We don't want to have to regulate it. We don't even understand really how search indexing works through Google. That's what makes them, that's their whole patent thing in the first place, is indexing search, the gigantic internet. We wouldn't understand that anyways. But the question is some human making a...
Can they manipulate it?
Is he making...
Are they manipulating it?
Is some human making a decision
well, that's
to say...
currently the theory. That's the conspiracy theory, is someone controlling it.
Right, and
but
what
it's just an algorithm.
But it's not a But what I'm saying is,
explain that to me. Explain.
Here's what I posit to you. You're the programmer. You're the
No,
one
I'm not a programmer.
Well, I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
a
you're the
programmer.
one program. This is an easy question. You're the one programmer at Google, and I say, hey, Patrick, we just found out that if you Google Donald Trump, only liberal news sites come out for the first 4 pages. What I'm positing to you is, do you think it's possible for that person to go in there and say, you know what, the maximum amount of hits Huffington Post can get is 2 million unique visits. The maximum unique visits...
Yes, that's possible.
Yes.
That's what I think is probably happening, but I don't think it's intentionally happening in a way
By
that...
Google as a whole, no.
No, I think something...
So you think like one person's in there controlling?
No,
like,
I don't
just
think that at
making-
all. I think they don't understand their whole thing.
Maybe even
well
a
enough.
department at the worst, but I wouldn't say, I would hope not. I know tech companies, you know, since they're in Silicon Valley and everything, traditionally are liberal leaning, but
Well, this is and this is different than
that would
what-
be bad if they got caught doing that kind of stuff.
Right. So, I mean, this is where people were talking about, you know, do we come up with something like a digital bill of rights, where you have your own digital identity and
I like the,
you know, digital slander, this and that.
I think you got, with the internet, it broadcasts so much more than everybody used to see 20 years ago, and you gotta...
Do you have a right to privacy on the internet?
Privacy's out the fucking window.
Yeah,
there's no such thing. as
Legally,
privacy
there's
anymore.
something called a reasonable expectation of privacy. That's something, the idea of like in your home, you have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
I would say in my...
Yeah, if you're off your computer.
Right.
No,
and
do
it's
you don't
off,
think being on the computer, you have
and
a
your
reasonable...
phone's
I think if
turned
you're on
off.
the internet,
You don't think your internet
you get-
service provider
No.
is
I don't think-
liable for that or anything?
No. I think if you're on the internet, you give up your right to privacy.
And not
So
even
I
that-
can get into your webcam on your phone and
not
you have
even
no problem
necessarily
on it?
give
I
up
have
your
a
right to
problem on it, but
privacy,
it's-
but yeah, it's possible to keep. It's possible to do, and never impossible to 100% stop, because they always find.
That's
a
what
way
I'm
around.
saying. Should it be illegal for me to hack your phone and get into your webcam and record you?
Isn't it already illegal? But who knows if you're going to catch him?
Is it illegal to go
How you
up to
gonna
someone's
track him?
window of their house and just look in? Is that illegal?
You can get on their curtilage. It's their outside property where the public has access, but you cannot peer into the window like that. That's what a reasonable expectation of privacy. That's what cops can do. They can't. If you have a fence that says no trespassing, they can't jump the fence and come in. So if you have a small like a little walk over gate, they can walk because the public would be able to do
So
it.
with the internet, this is where it's like hard to draw the line, because I would agree that yes, I would like that level of ensured privacy on the internet where it is illegal for someone to actually access your
It's
information.
affirmative
right?
consent. You should have to give affirmative consent to somebody viewing your shit.
Even putting in the legislation to get to that level just automatically like lessens the freedom that the internet.
It fucks with so much shit too, because then even the guys who probably develop the hardware have to go work within that. How do you make it not hackable?
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. That's the whole problem. I don't want any of these things. I don't want Twitter regulated. I don't want Facebook regulated. I don't give a crap. I mean, I do. It does suck that my business is tied to Facebook, and that I've been with Facebook longer than I've been with my wife. I mean, I've been with Facebook for almost 13 years. I mean, come on. That's a long time to have a history. I mean, my daughter will be able to go back and look at that as an online journal and see.
Right, it's kind of cool thinking about it in that
She'll be
aspect.
able to upload all that user data
Yeah.
and put on a headset, and the computer will be able to reconstruct Daddy over the years.
Yep. I'll just grow a beard.
Well, there you go. It'll be the drunk version of me in most videos. That's okay.
You'll be able to take your iPhone X, use your facial recognition, you can talk and really speaking version of
Like, hi, Daddy.
iPhone XX by that time. Triple X. There we
Speaking
go.
of which,
Speaking
we're
of
like
which,
2 weeks away from the next iPhone announcement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tis upgrade season is upon us.
iPhone 10X,
S.
iPhone 10XS
iPhone
Plus.
10S.
Do we have any
iPhone
rumor
10
news
SE,
on that?
iPhone 10s, and iPhone 10.
There's not going to be
S
SE. It's going to be the iPhone 9.
You think
The LCD model is going to be called the
they're gonna
9.
call it the 9? But it's carrying the design philosophy of the 10 forward, right? So like,
Why would it be the SE then?
Because it'll be the size of the SE.
9.
No, it's going to be the mid tier. The S.
I thought they were making a
Do
small
we have
one.
any articles on this?
Chase is going to bring one up.
Come on,
There's
producer.
a lot of links, a lot of renders of like what
I
their
got
phones
plenty
are.
of room over here. You
There's
come
3
over
phones.
here, I'll show you how to use this computer, and I have to find when you don't have them, and I do have one. So
I was there last week and you wouldn't let me talk.
I got plenty of room right here. Come on.
No.
There's
So the LCD model is the iPhone. Yeah, the LCD model I think is going to be called the 9,
you think so?
and I think the
So this is the.
and that's going to be the
okay.
color variant. Basically it's going to be when they did the 5C. They're going to come in orange,
This is
yellow.
3 phones.
3 phones, yeah.
Why can't the high-end one come in cool colors? Why?
That's going to be so annoying. Yeah, the high-end phone is going to come in, I believe, 2 colors, gold or black and white again.
Then
This
I
is-
is rose gold this year.
And I think the XS is going to be in the rose gold.
Is that real?
No, that's a render.
If that was how they made the screens, that would be so fucking cool.
Ooh, you see they do the VR thing with it? Better virtual reality support.
Oh, I was wondering if they were going to put VR on it.
Do you?
USB Type-C.
They are going to change all the cable types.
They're not going to do that. this
You think
year,
they are gonna do
guaranteed. They're not going to do it.
I heard Apple was getting sued. I think you told me sued in
Europe.
For not using
Standardized.
for not you. They're the only ones who are different.
And on their MacBooks, they use it. So their MacBooks, they use USB
I think
Type-C.
this is the year they do it because I feel like they will eventually.
They
like
already
they will
have the
eventually.
cubes. They already have the Apple cubes. They have the USB Type-C to USB Type-C. I think so.
Fast charge included in the box is a fast charger. Fast charger gives you a quick and easy recharge.
Here's
And
the
you can
question for
daisy
though,
chain
Kyle.
them.
Are you going to switch or are you going to stick with Android?
I moved back to a 10 subsequently, and I'm not moving back.
So
You
you're
like
staying
iOS more?
It's
You just-
okay. The
what do you
Pixel 2
like?
ruined me because, for one, the notification center is not conducive to running a business. Everything gets lost in the shuffle. I like to, when I need to use PayPal, I like to see, I have 3 PayPal notifications. I'm going to check all 3 transactions. I have Messenger. I have 4 things from this group. I clear them off. It's compartmentalized. And it has not frozen once. That Pixel 2 was buggy as hell, and it was terrible. It was constant. The pictures were amazing on it, but it was constantly terrible. And you're asking me why I wouldn't go with the Samsung?
I wasn't asking.
Oh.
that. I was just,
I don't think they're worth. I don't think they're worth $1,200 yet.
I was going to say though,
Is that
like
how much the Note 9 is?
my Note 4 was buggy. I loved that phone, but it was buggy. But this is probably the best phone I've ever used.
Have you experienced any force stops or force
No.
anything? Not
I've
once.
experienced a little bit of slowdown, but this is the first Samsung phone that ever featured the app built in called device maintenance. And if you run that on a regular basis, it clears its cache. It like closes bad apps. Like,
You know what I hate about
does all
that
kind of
is, and I
stuff.
hate that
You
my
don't
answer to
have
this.
do that.
Yeah, I hate that my
Have to
answer to
even
that
do
is
that.
that iPhone, you don't have to do that. The slowdown was so obvious on my phone. It was so obvious. And we found a story that Google actually, because I was on a beta, that Google in real time can change your build layout so it can get real-time data from your Pixel. So it's been thought that your data, the reason your phone was so slow is because Google's manipulating it in real time to test its metrics and stuff, and that really pisses me off. I mean, they can at least tell you what's happening. That's fine. I'll let them scrub my data at night to see what the hell is working and what's not. But with this iOS, I'm on beta 12, and I have not had one force close, not one thing. Everybody I send a message to, I get an instant receipt. Even when I was messaging like you with Android messages, some of them wouldn't work. You know, I would get I would send messages to another guy who had a Google Pixel 2 XL. He owns the cell phone repair in Orange County, so I know he has the same phone as me. Would not send Android messages. Would not. It was just the weirdest little problems with the phone that I just got so frustrated with. Enough.
I am torn because
Just get back to work.
that's something about
I don't care how much
iOS.
it costs. Just I want my phone to ring when it's gonna ring. I want the alarm to go off. Half the time, my phone wouldn't ring. My wife would be like, "I called you 3 times, and I'd see it have 3 missed calls, but my phone wouldn't ring."
Yeah, I mean that's
not
that's
crazy.
the nice thing about
Not fucking
iOS.
crazy, I know I'm not.
iOS runs so perfectly, but what previously when I would go, like I had the Note 4 and then I went back to an iPhone 6, I couldn't get over how bad the screen looked after using a Samsung, right? Like that.
That's
OLED
why I went
makes
with the
such a
10.
huge difference.
The 10 screen is AMOLED, and it makes a huge difference.
That's why, like, for my next phone upgrade, the next iPhone, the iPhone, whatever they're going to call it, is definitely on my consideration.
Yeah, it works so good with the, like, I even used Skype with it today. Microsoft's one, I wish I could put it on the screen. Microsoft's one app is, OneDrive is built into there, so I could send you a file. You can do, I mean, literally everything's built into iMessage now, so we can iMessage back and forth these files. People talk about, you know, what's the best way to talk with your company. People like Discord and all these different things. Slack. It's like, it's built into iMessage. It's right there. Yeah. And they're, with iOS 12, they pushed it out, but I think they're going to come back to it, is group FaceTime. And once group FaceTime works, you won't need Skype anymore, if you have a Mac anyways. I mean, I still like Skype, but that sort of stuff. I mean, they're figuring it out how to talk. Right now with Wi-Fi passwords, you don't even have to type it in. If you come to my house and I have an iPhone, I can send you the Wi-Fi password. You don't.
That's cool.
We did it this weekend over the fantasy football. Who needed the Wi-Fi password? Asher just got on his phone, send, and all of a sudden it auto-filled in that app.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Apple's dominating largely with their software.
Right. People just don't get frustrated about it, but that notch is terrible. That notch is so ugly. I don't understand. Like, they just make the bezels bigger or something. I don't know. The Pixel 3 is supposed to leak.
I don't see it anymore. You stop seeing it.
You don't see it anymore?
See what?
The notch.
You really don't.
Yeah, I think you have been hung up on it, but I don't know. I like the 8 Plus, but
for the first couple months when I first had that other one, the notch, I noticed it in everything I did. Now it's just a slight inconvenience every now and then. I've never noticed it.
I mean, the screen, everything works, and the apps that you need to use it with can go smaller too, so you don't have to see the notch if you don't want. It's just really weird to me.
You can remove the notch?
Well, you can, like, if you hit Netflix, if you tap the screen, it'll either go full screen, so that notch will have a little cutout, or it'll go down into the regular, I think it's 16:9 ratio.
Yeah.
So with the black on the AMOLED screens, you don't see any white or anything. It looks like it's full screen still too.
Yeah.
It just looks like Pac-Man is coming when you're watching a screen. It looks like you're eating, I don't know. You can tell the orientation of your phone. It just seems very bizarre to me.
Yeah, I can't tell the orientation hardly anymore on this thing.
Right, and the Samsung Infinity display, I mean,
if you're like just blindly holding your phone, you can't tell whether the top or the bottom
it's
is.
the best. I mean, that display is the best display on the market. The Note 9 too. I mean, come on.
Did that screen protector stick down better?
No.
Oh, and the Note 9 is YouTube certified. It's one of the only phones that's YouTube
certified. Wow.
What the fuck does that mean?
YouTube
Certified to use YouTube, obviously.
It can stream Twitch also live
No,
because
back to YouTube certified. What the fuck does that mean? I can put YouTube on my iPhone X. That's YouTube certified.
it allows, I believe, for the immediate use of like Dolby Atmos, the HDR10 coding, and the
What's that?
and 4K plus.
Layman's.
HDR plus is the
Pretty
makes
pictures.
it makes the light
Prettier
look like
pictures.
bright light. So like a sun would come up in 4K and be in 4K. You wouldn't see any pixels in 4K, but with HDR, you might have to squint. Like on my TV at home, when there's a sunset or something, because it's an OLED and HDR's on, the light will come from those actual pixels. It won't come from a light diffused through pixels, so it can be bright and it can project that properly.
Science!
It makes it look really cool anyways.
So no one really is going to know.
If you have that sweet ass screen, you'll know.
YouTube certified. Right here.
It's a reason
Ridiculous. That is fucking ridiculous.
it's a better screen. Can your the real question is, can your eyes see the difference? Most people think they can't see 4K that close anyway.
Yes, you can.
I think you
Yes,
can.
you can.
I look at small things all day. I can see small things.
More on that later. Hashtag Pornhub.
Hashtag Pornhub, exactly. Oh, hey.
I read articles on the internet and I'm unsure whether or not I should believe them. So
They're
I can't
all
comment.
real news.
It's all real news.
Everything on the internet
There's no
is
such thing as fake news.
It's
Every-
all the fake news is fake.
That's
Yes.
exactly the problem.
Oh.
Exactly.
I just need more time to synthesize all the real news then.
Yes.
Write your own news.
That's how you get the most accurate. You write it yourself.
Self-published author Kyle Strickland.
I am a news anchor.
What did you do? You just leak your stories to the press.
Leak my own good stories to the press or bad stories. You control the flow.
Breaking news: I had eggs this morning. There we go. Share with the Gazette. Let's get it there.
600,000 views later. You had eggs still.
Oh, reality winner.
Softball.
Oh, right. Yes. So the softball segue he was trying to elicit out of me was, well, you have one more story for tonight.
Oh boy.
It's a political story.
Oh, here we go.
This person's name is Reality Winner. That's the person's real name.
What?
They were sentenced to 5 years, 3 months for leaking classified info.
Oh, so if I made my own stories and leaked it?
Mm-hmm.
What if I classified
You're
it?
going to jail.
Yeah. The problem is that you got to declassify
I
your
better
own material
declassify
first.
my own
Depends
material.
on how much money you make.
That's true. If everybody comes out net positive, then there's no real victim.
All right. What about the prison, though? They don't get to know the prisoner.
Oh, that's true. We're out of prison. So this person,
You're going to
Reality Winner, leaked a bunch of. She was one of the first people to be convicted of this too, right? An Espionage Act.
Who in the fuck names their kid Reality Winner?
Yes, I do.
A fantasy loser.
That's, yeah, Jesus.
What
Reality Winner?
the hell's
Your
his name?
parents
Oh.
hated you.
Snowden? No.
No, the private.
Oh, Chelsea
Saving
Manning.
Private Ryan.
Chelsea Manning.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the same thing Chelsea Manning did, right?
Didn't they pardon her?
Chelsea Manning got a pardon. Yep. Well, they let
From
her,
Obama or Trump?
Obama, and it was shortened the prison sentence. She electively, essentially got out a few months early, I think, is all it worked out to be. But this person thought they were gonna do everybody a favor and leak all this supposedly classified information. And thought she would take the Trump organization down, and turns out nobody cared, and now she's going to jail for leaking classified information.
Now
And
we're
so
doing a
it
news
just goes to
story on
show that if you're not on board with the Trump organization, you might as well get out, right, Patrick?
That seems to be the attitude going forward.
It's a train going forward, and
The
it's
Trump train. If
kinda-
you don't want success, you might as well get off here. It's Mexico.
I'll probably end up having to move to the new country called California. So
That got turned down. The Supreme Court in California
Thank God.
said it is not constitutional by their
to separate from the three state
into three
states.
different states.
Good. That
Yep.
would've been stupid.
The Supreme Court said it wasn't even legal for them to vote on it in the fall. So
wait. So they wanted
it's
to
against their charter and their
Northern
constitution.
Northern
The
California,
citizens do not have the
California,
right
and
to break up
Southern
the
and they
state.
wanted to separate the state, not secede.
Right. They just wanted
You
to
have to
three
ratify a new
states.
constitution or
That's
put an amendment in the
ridiculous. They should
constitution.
be able to do
give them
that.
explicit power.
They should be able to do that if
They
they
didn't.
want.
They were not given explicit power in the Constitution. The Constitution outlines what the government cannot do. It does not outline what
California was formed after the fact when the Constitution was even written.
they can. Right. They ratified their own Constitution. The Constitution.
California Constitution.
Yes, the
Oh, okay,
California
okay, okay.
Supreme Court said the California people do not have the right to redistribute California's
Decide
land.
their own fate. God forbid that the California people should decide their own fate.
Texas
Yeah,
allows
I
for
mean,
it.
seriously, just call Montana.
Montana allows for it. They were talking about in the past, because the timber industry was so much different than the eastern Montana economics, that people wanted to split the state for a while, because the eastern Montana vote was more in line with the North Dakota style, and they were thinking even North Dakota to be either split up or something. It's every couple of years this whole thing comes up where they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we should redistribute the states, or the whole gerrymandering thing where they draw lines for voting blocks. And I mean, the idea of even having states in the first place was so people could have different rules and live in different places and not adhere to different laws.
and have to follow laws.
All right.
Let's just not have no more laws.
Speaking of no laws,
We need lawlessness.
lawlessness.
How about we need Lucy Lawless?
Yes, Lucy Lawless.
Actually, I prefer laws because people would then just come in unending.
Let me ask you a question. Why is there a speed limit?
for the safety of from guys like me who would go 150 all the time.
The police officer can also already write you a ticket for reckless driving.
If
So
I'm
that
going 150.
right.
So even why is there a speed limit if they have the ability to just do reckless driving?
If a cop can already write a ticket for reckless driving at any way he deems necessary, which I feel is more proper, then why is it? Then why are there speed limits?
I heard that the reason
They're redundant
Montana
laws.
has speed limits, we didn't want them, but I heard that the federal government was threatening to withhold highway funds.
That's what I heard too.
When Montana did that.
I remember when
Because
I
we
moved
did
out
not
here,
have
there weren't any.
we didn't have an established speed limit. It wasn't that
There
it
was no
was.
speed
Yeah,
limits
it was.
on at least on the highway. Which I remember going to Kalispell with my dad when I was younger, and he went 95 the whole fucking way.
Right now the speed limit is 80, and driving to Bozeman,
People go 90.
Yeah, you're slow if you're 85. You're slow if you're 85. People are zooming past you. So
Which is really understandable. Like, I've drove across the country multiple times, and
so there's all reckless driving. We don't need speed limits. It should be
Yeah.
the flow of traffic.
if you're slow, get to the right, and if you want to haul ass,
you're driving through a
stay
neighborhood,
left.
slow the hell down.
In town, there should be. I would say there should be speed
And
limits.
damn it,
in
we need
town.
to legalize prostitution. So once you've finished your 100-mile-an-hour journey across the country, you can go
how
get
come I
laid.
can massage your abdomen and your inner thigh, but as soon as I touch your penis, it's illegal?
Because I don't want you doing that, Kyle.
But you
What
paid
if he
for it.
does? He might.
Consensual
he might
agreement,
not know that he
contracts,
wants you to do
contract law next on Simpson Software next week. Well, thank you for joining us. That was an excellent episode. Thank you, Kyle, for filling in.
it. Yep.
Do you have
We'll see you next week, Asher.
Do we have a Twitter or any handle we want to follow?
Just follow Geeks of
I'm
Avatar.
pretty
That's all
sure,
you need.
yeah, it would be that, and then follow Simpson Software, and then Chase is pulling up some nipples.
It's Lucy Lawless Nude. We were looking for her.
She's lawless.
She's in that show. She's got
So for the podcast listeners, you definitely want to check us out on Twitch
yeah,
because
you need to
there's
see
nipples
this.
on screen right now.
It's right by
Which
my,
we're probably going to get taken off of Twitch here any second. Okay.
right by my ear. So
And
just tune in. It's fun every week, same time.
same bad time, same bad channel. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. All right. Talk to you next week.
See ya.